Live your music. KLEK 102.5 FM.
Good Tuesday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. A blend of sun and clouds today. The high about 60 to 65. Northwest wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. There might be a shower or two tonight, mostly cloudy in the mid to upper 40s. Isolated showers Wednesday and Wednesday night. A weather system coming in. Temperatures Wednesday near 60, and it'll be down into the 40s Wednesday night. A morning shower, mostly cloudy Thursday, and then partly sunny in the afternoon and the low 60s. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. South Korea's government's declared war on the coronavirus outbreak as confirmed cases climb closer to 5,000. Chinese regions have been announcing quarantine measures for people arriving from countries and regions abroad considered outbreak hotspots. Benjamin Netanyahu's claiming victory in Israel's general election but may fall short of a majority. And 14 US states and American Samoa are voting on Tuesday on the biggest day of the Democratic primary.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Super Tuesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. I want to give this message. Please go and vote. Today is voting day all across the nation. So please go out and vote. Can't tell you who to vote for, but we do encourage you all to vote. So the KLEK will be providing some live coverage a little later this evening from the Craig County Courthouse Annex. All right, so moving right along, my special guest today is Ms. Brandi Hodges from the Craig County Jonesboro Public Library.
You do that so well every time. I'm fabulous. How are you this morning?
I am great. So I know there's been some wonderful things happening at the library. Wouldn't it be lovely if today's weather would be what you all need for the upcoming arts and crafts?
Oh my goodness. Even yesterday's weather during the morning, it was, I was walking into work and I literally said out loud, okay, if you could just do this on April 25th, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
We have our upcoming art and craft fair. We have it every spring. We've been doing this about 6 years now. So we have a lot of fun with it. We're doing a steampunk theme, which I am learning about. And I know a lot of people know a lot about it. And so a lot of people have said, think early 1900s or like Victorian style dress, but with gears and clocks.
Yes, it's like the railway. That's when I see different photos and different advertisements. It's like the railroad something meets that early 1900s.
This is going to sound silly, but the only thing I could think of is the Will Smith movie Wild Wild West.
There you go.
That is steampunk. So
Yes.
what I need to do is I need to go check that out from the library and watch it again and be like, that's what we need to wear.
Now you have to get some really cool and funky makeup and hair and stuff going on too.
We'll work on it. We got some top hats and things like that, but right now we're in vendor mode. So
Okay.
if you know anyone out there who maybe they make soap, maybe they like to do jewelry or handicrafts like knitting, like I'm doing right now, or crochet, or maybe you know someone who sews cute little aprons or doll clothes. We had someone a few years ago who made doll clothes, and they were a very popular shopping destination. But we have about 60 vendor spaces. We started taking applications this past Friday, and we will continue through the last Friday of this month.
Okay.
So we will have that open for 4 weeks, and at the close of that fourth week, at 6 o'clock on that Friday, we'll stop taking applications. We'll review those applications the following week and let everyone know their status of their application by the following Friday, I believe April 3rd. And then the event will be on Saturday, April 25th.
Okay.
We do have a backup rain day, as always, of May 2nd.
May that was kind of okay. So you almost have a lot going on in April where you couldn't put it
So, April is such a busy month. So the way it kind of stacked up, we always have to have a date for the event and then a backup date.
Okay.
And Easter kind of fell right there, where a lot of people potentially could be out of town, and we want to have as much bang for our proverbial buck as we can getting people to come. That's the purpose of doing this event, is we want you to come see us.
Okay.
Come visit the art and craft vendors. We've got some food vendors lined up. We've got Smooch's Burnouts and Bella's Catering are going to come and have their food wares there. I'm still looking for a couple of more food vendors. But yeah, May 2nd is our other date. We also always attend, so come see us. The St. Bernard's Health and Fitness Expo is the 18th and the 19th of April. And so, there are just so many events going on because we're at that event.
Yes.
We have so much fun. We're going to come up with an awesome craft to do with the kiddos.
You all, the library in general, you all are like everywhere. You try to go to as many events as possible to let people know what you have to offer, which you have so much to offer, which we'll get into more. I wish people, I'm not saying people don't support the library, but I wish you all just had so many people that you're like, okay, we're at capacity right now. The library has a nook and cranny for every single person.
We do, and we're actually really gearing up for summer. So summer, if you've not been to the library in a few years, summer at the library it's a crazy place to be. We have so many events going on all the time. We will have 5 concerts this summer.
Okay.
We do a summer concert series, and that series is local musicians that we book to come and play. But for example, last summer we saw over 53,000 people in June and July.
Wow.
Because we have door counters that we keep track of how many people come in, and 53,000 people came in. Now that could be maybe the same family comes every day to the library, but we just have a count of how many people came to the library. We did over 600 programs, and we had more than 15,000 people attend those 600 programs. But we got room for more, my friends.
Okay, come on out to the library.
and we usually have between 300 and 500 people attend our outdoor concerts that we have on the lawn, and we have a whole extra concert. There are 5 Tuesdays this summer in June, so because we do them every Tuesday, we have 5 concerts. And so that's just more opportunities for you to come to the library and take advantage of the free things that we offer. Our theme this summer is fairy tales. And so we've got a lot of fun things planned. Our kickoff party is going to be on, let me look at that date. I believe it's May 30th.
Okay.
Yes, May 30th is our kickoff party. And since we're talking about summer, I do want to mention we are currently seeking sponsors for our summer programming.
Okay.
Every dollar that we get in sponsorships to help with the library helps fund those programs that we offer in the summer. And I always like to tell people we can only do so much with the funding that we have. And so we seek donations so that we can offer more.
Okay.
You'll see these programs we have programs for kids. We also offer, in the last 3 or 4 years, we offer special programs for tweens because they're at that age where they're like, I'm not a kid.
And I'm not a teenager.
And I'm not a teenager yet. So we do fun programs for them. And we like to do things where we can make a piece of jewelry or make something and they can take it with them.
Okay.
But those things cost money. So
Yes, ma'am.
if anyone out there is with a business or an individual who would like to help sponsor the library this summer, call me at the library 935-5133 or email bhodges@libraryinjonesboro.org.
Okay, and so again, you said the theme is fairy tales.
Fairy tales, and we're there. It's so amazing. We have so many talented people on our staff. The things they come up with, you're like, I never would have thought of that. But I haven't seen. We have our first meeting next week.
Okay.
I haven't seen everything that they're doing, but we're planning. But we talked about our art and craft fair that's coming up the 25th.
Yes.
I want to go ahead and mention we are having our fall art and craft fair is going to be combined with another event.
Oh, okay.
We are hosting our first inaugural, if you will, Comic-Con event at the library.
Oh my goodness.
We polled people who attend library events, and the overarching, the biggest vote was for video games. And so that's going to be our focus. So there's a committee that's working hard to get that and so going and get that planned. And so we are combining it with our existing event to have a built-in audience, if you will. Have people who already are used to coming to an event and will just stay a little bit longer.
A Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of libraries across the country do them, so we thought, why not?
That's going to be, I've seen a lot of different pictures and videos, and people really get creative when it comes to these type of events. It's like their inner child is to live out that fantasy.
Well, anything I can dress up for. I was Thing 2 yesterday for Dr. Seuss's birthday, so we have a lot of fun.
All right. Oh, speaking of Dr. Seuss, I know that you all did some reading, live reading. So how did that go?
It went great. We had our Dr. Seuss birthday party event yesterday, and a few weeks ago was World Read Aloud Day.
Okay.
And so we read books aloud live on Facebook throughout the day. And I read The Bad Seed by Jory John. It's a really good book. There's a lot of great children's books, but we also did some book talks of books for teenagers and adults. And then yesterday we celebrated Dr. Seuss's birthday. He was born in 1904 and has written some of our best loved books.
Okay. Wow. So I hope that people really enjoyed that. You, even if it's not a special time frame dedicated to reading out loud, do you feel that based on the feedback and the listenership, you may do that again? We do
World Read Aloud Day every year. This year I would like for us to do World Ebook Day and do a similar. It's a lot goes into orchestrating read alouds throughout a day. That was the organizer, Miss Nicole. That was her whole day.
Oh, okay.
And she's our education specialist.
Okay.
Her whole day was spent organizing that. So we don't do it super often. We do it a couple of times a year.
Okay. Awesome. All right, I'm looking at the calendar to see what else is going on. As just right now, I see that STEAM is like one of the themes for some of the after-school activities.
It is. We do an extreme STEAM event every week.
Okay.
And, sometimes they use, like, one of the very fascinating events that we had was they used tubes and, like, little fuzzy balls that had the little tubes were, like, paper towel tubes that they attached Velcro to. And so the kids could manipulate them, move them around to see how fast the little fuzzy balls would go down the tube. So learning about velocity and gravity.
Oh wow. Okay. Kind of ironic you said I was watching. I love MacGyver. I
do too.
Even the new version of MacGyver. So there was a scene where MacGyver was talking to some Boy Scouts and he was trying to explain the activity they were
I saw that last week.
Okay, and so they were like, why do we need this science stuff? So that is why. I mean, science and math and all the other elements of STEAM play a role in your everyday life, whether we know it or not.
Yeah. And it's just, we're trying to, the kids are so much more. I made a lot of like mud pies and stuff when I was a kid. We just played outside. We were at the end of a dead end road, and so my parents could literally say, go play in the street, and you could.
Okay.
Because our street was our driveway.
Okay.
That's where the street ended. But kids these days, I actually am going to an event on Friday hosted by ASU. It's a STEAM event.
Okay.
We do it every year. It's so fun. And last year they did a trash-in show.
Oh.
Where they just things they found, cereal boxes, and they just built outfits.
Okay.
And they were awesome. Like, they had a trash-in show. I kind of hope they do it again this year. It was so fun. But one person had like broken CDs.
Really?
Like to make up their skirt or something. I can't really remember. And use of garbage bags and things. But kids nowadays, we have to expose them to things like extreme STEAM after school because we have fun with it. So it's not like they're learning stuff, but in a fun way.
They're learning.
So it's our after school programs. We're just reinforcing things that they're already learning.
Okay.
But in a, I'm sure they have fun ways of doing it in the classroom as well. But we try to do everything we can to, say, okay, then what would you do then? Okay, you've hit a roadblock. How do you get past it? Well, a lot of times we will do a building day. On Mondays we host master builders as our after school. Sometimes they'll just bring in from our recycling bin. They'll bring in a bunch of cardboard boxes and tell the kids, okay, build something. You know, it's like, here's the challenge.
Now, one thing I get out of that is that, okay, we know that science and math, you have to use your critical thinking skills.
Yes.
And problem solving skills. So again, I don't think the kids realize how valuable engaging themselves in STEAM related activities can be, because that can again carry over to every other aspect of your life when you have to solve a major problem, no matter what it's in. You know, you got to figure out how to, say, as an adults, we have to figure out how to make our paycheck match
Exactly.
our bills. So we have to do a lot of figuring out and moving things around. But anyway, on the real, your critical thinking skills are strengthened. Your problem solving skills, get better. So hopefully the kids will realize that they're learning some valuable tools while they're having fun at the same time.
Well, and master builders, we play with cardboard, but sometimes they pull out other things that we have and we build with it. There are some, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like straws that have connectors.
Okay.
And those can be used. They're bendy. They're not like a bendy straw, like that has the sections, but like they're malleable, I guess is the right word. And the kids connect those. It can build all sorts of crazy things out of them, but it's using, like, they're being little architects without even realizing it. Because I was watching two boys about 8 or 9 one day building, and one little boy went, "No, we've got to build the base up more so it has more stability." And I'm like,
what?
Slow down there, fella. But it's so fun to watch them. We just, a lot of times they're just given the tools, and it's like sink or swim, because that's how we learn. But we do those programs every Monday's Master Builders. On Tuesdays it's Extreme STEAM, which every week is a little bit different. One of my favorite ones they did was last fall, I believe. They used aluminum foil and Christmas lights that had been cut from Christmas lights that part of them didn't work, and so they cut the working ones out. And they used the aluminum foil and the Christmas lights to form connections, and then a battery, and it made the lights light up.
Oh my goodness.
It was but it's these little things that kids can do at home. I'm not saying go cut your mom's Christmas lights up, because no. But Extreme STEAM is on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays we do Creative Kids, where sometimes it's a specific activity. Every week it's a specific activity, but sometimes they're doing an art piece, and then other times they'll just we have a lot of times people will donate random things to us, and so we'll put random things in an envelope and maybe a rock, and then you make your own rock pet, or just be creative. It's Creative Kids, so it's just what can we do with what we have. And then on Thursdays we have Passport 2, and then every week is a different country. And so sometimes they have food from that country. Sometimes they're learning about the customs and the traditions in that country. And then sometimes, like, where is that country? So it's just kind of Passport 2. We're learning about this other country. And then we do brain games on Friday. And we do puzzle solving and critical thinking. It's getting it's Friday, it's the last of the school week, so we're getting their brains working one more time before the weekend. But then we also have, for our kiddos who aren't quite in school yet, these are our after school activities. They're held Monday through Friday from 4 to 5 o'clock. We also have programs for those kiddos who aren't quite in school yet. So for preschoolers, we have pre-K play every Monday at 10 o'clock. And then we have Tiny Tots, which is our story time for the tiny kiddos, on Thursdays and Fridays at 10. Now, our family story times are held on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays.
Okay.
So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so join us in less than an hour, 10 o'clock. You can, still have time to make it to our family story time, the first one of the week. We have that, and then we'll have our same story time, family story time, every Saturday at 3. So a lot of times parents say, I work during the day, I can't bring my kiddos. Saturday and Sunday. We have programs Saturdays and Sundays at 3 o'clock.
And I also want to let everybody know that on the events calendar, you can narrow your search down by branch. And so there are branches in, of course, Jonesboro, Caraway, Harrisburg, Lake City, Lepanto, Marktree, Monette, and Wiener. And then hopefully the Bono one will be opening soon.
We actually have books purchased for Bono, Brooklyn.
I'm sorry. Brooklyn.
I was like, wait. We have books. The books are purchased and ready to go. We are working on getting furniture.
Okay.
It's really coming together. So at least by summer, we will have that branch up and running.
Okay, so we're going to get ready to hit a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the bookmobile, talk about how that's going, or when is it going to get rolling, and talk about some more activities, because there are so many activities for adults as well. And then there are teens, they have the Adulting 101. Like, this calendar is jam-packed full of stuff.
We also have our spring break activities.
Oh, wow. So we definitely want to get into that. So do you have maybe a listing or?
We do.
Okay. All right. So we'll definitely get into all of that. Again, you can go to libraryinjonesboro.org, and there's on the front page, it says events. Click on that, and you can search by your age group and the branch. And we always talk about how you can make an adventure out of one of the different libraries in Craigor County and in Poinsett County. So pick one that you want to go to that's maybe not too far away, and then plan your day around going to the library.
And I forgot to bring Miss Quibila's bag of books I've had for like 2 months. But I was going to say, a lot of our libraries currently have book sales going on.
Okay.
So if you're in the market, stop by one of our branches.
All right, we'll definitely get into that as well when we come back. You tune in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Are you sure you can make medical decisions for your child? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Recently, a friend asked a small group of us that question. We all had unmarried adult children. She explained to us that if any of our children were incapacitated and needed someone to make healthcare decisions on their behalf and see their personal health information, a signed designation of healthcare surrogate was necessary. Without it, we did not have legal permission to make decisions or receive information regarding our grown children's medical lives. So I encourage you to learn more about the importance of having a document that names you as your adult child's designated healthcare surrogate. Just go to my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Guide Right Jonesboro Kappa League, a non-profit organization that guides young men to a life of achievement. Kappa League Jonesboro on Facebook, Jonesboro_Kappa League on Instagram, and JonesboroKappaLeague@gmail.com.
Hey, this is Reba McIntyre, and I wanted to talk to you about a serious problem right here in our own backyard. Did you know that there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger in America? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food, engaging their communities in solving hunger and giving hope to hungry kids and their families. But they need your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Psst.
It's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Just treat me better. After all, we're in this together.
For help getting your high blood pressure to a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The key to making this station even better could be parked in your driveway right now. Donate your old car to us, you'll get a tax deduction, and we'll tow it away for free.
Go to klekfm.org for more information.
House of Details, located at 3915 East Highland in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, waxing, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more, with a motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
Experience the joy with Bishop Adrian R. Rogers, pastor of Fullness of Joy Church, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401. Wednesday night, Word and Worship, 7 p.m. Prayer Thursday night at 7 p.m. Sunday School, 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning worship, 11 o'clock a.m. And our Sunday night live service at 7 p.m.
If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. Call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. We ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance.
Major key alert. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my special guest today is Ms. Brandi Hodges from the Craig County Jonesboro Public Library. It only took me forever to say that.
You're really good at it.
All right, so we're going to continue on our conversation. Before we went to break, we were talking about the bookmobile, some other activities for adults. What else? There's so much more going on. Oh, the book sale, the Friends of the Library. So let's go ahead and start there.
So our Friends of the Library at the Jonesboro Library, they have had a bookshop since 1998, and the books are so inexpensive. And we often have books that have really never been read before. Okay. A lot of times it could be books that were bought for a child that maybe they had a lot of books at home and they just never read those, or maybe they weren't their favorites. And I know people know I love books, and so I'll get books that are purchased for me that I'm like, oh, not gonna read that one. It's just not something I'm interested in. So I will donate those to the Friends of the Library. I also get magazines every month, and I look through them, get the knowledge I need out of them, and then I donate them to the Friends of the Library bookshop.
I need to do that because sometimes I don't know how I started getting a Sports Illustrated subscription. Maybe I signed up for something else and got I don't know, but yes, I have a tendency to get magazines, and now they're taking up space.
Well, if you ever want to bring them here, I'll drop by and pick them up for you.
Okay, I definitely would do that.
We have that, though. A lot of our libraries, our branch libraries, our 7 branches, they also have sections in their library of gently used books. Maybe a lot of the books you'll find in our collection at the Friends Bookshop as well are discarded books, because each library only has the space that they have. And once that space is gone, we have to go, okay, well, what books aren't getting checked out?
Okay.
And that's how we discard books. We also will have, when a book is super popular, maybe we have 4 copies of it.
Okay.
Well, after the first however long, you don't need that many copies of it
Yes.
anymore. And so we'll discard those. But what happens is they go to our friend's bookshop, or they go to wherever library branch you're at. They'll go to the sale, and it's a wonderful opportunity to get some great books to take home and add to your own collection.
Okay. Even if you think you might not read it, there may be somebody somewhere that will read it. I would love to see people just start doing book swaps again.
I love that idea. We actually, I lead the Young Adult at Heart book club at the library, and every December we have a book swap.
Okay.
Where it's bring your favorite book or just a book you really liked, and we wrap them, and then we just exchange them.
Okay. Another idea I've seen done in other places, like they wrap the book in brown paper, and they write the title and maybe a brief description, because they want people to. I know that authors put images on their books to draw you into the story, but why not give a book a chance without seeing?
We do blind date with a book sometimes,
Oh.
where it's literally we don't put the title, we don't put the author, we just put the brown paper and in Sharpie or something. We write a brief, a couple sentences about what that book is about, and so you just take a chance. You don't know what that book is going to be, but we put a barcode. What they usually do in children's is where the barcode is, they cut that part around, so that you can still check it out.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. Those are. We also often do that during Banned Book Week, which is actually coming up.
Banned as in like musical band?
Banned as in someone has filed a grievance against that book.
Oh.
So.
Oh, BANN.
Yeah,
Okay.
BANNED. So I can actually look and see when Banned Book Week is. I can't remember all of these things, but Banned Book Week is something that libraries across the country celebrate. And just because I say celebrate, we bring awareness to it, because there are so many reasons that someone will have a problem with a book. But we like to bring, it's actually Banned Book Week is in September. I was thinking it was earlier, but there are so many books, so we'll talk about it in September. But there are so many books that make that list. The top 100. There's here's an article for the top 100 most challenged books that you can find on the American Library Association website. But that's not until September.
Okay.
So we'll talk about. But a lot of times during that week, or leading up to it, we'll do the same thing. We'll wrap books in brown paper, because a lot of times you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this book was on that list. But coming up at the library, and more recently, we have spring break coming up. That's going to be held at the end of this month. So here's the list of events we have going on. I'm sorry?
Where can we find that information?
It's on our website. Just go to libraryinjonesboro.org, click on the events tab.
Okay.
And there's a list actually called Spring Full Schedule that is all of the spring break activities.
Okay.
So we are going to be doing, starting on Monday, we're going to have children's bingo at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. On Tuesday, we're going to have a coloring club at 10, and we're going to have, and I'm going to read this to you guys so you know what is going on.
Okay.
We're going to have an underpants party at 2 o'clock. We will have a clean underpants party. Think Captain Underpants, Aliens Love Underpants, and Creepy Pair of Underwear. There will be underpants relay, underpants slingshots, underpants crafts, and underpants as hats. Pants are mandatory unless you're wearing a skirt. Please cover your bum. Clean underpants are preferred, and wear them on your head. So there are so many of those books, like Aliens Love Underpants. You overhear conversations with kids if you're in a children's library, and I heard 2 little kids. I think it was 2 little girls talking about that book one day, and it's like, but Aliens Love Underpants. That's a good book. And the other little girl was like, I don't know. So that's it's a fun party to celebrate the love of those. Like Captain Underpants, those books they fly off the shelves.
Wow.
Then on Wednesday, we're going to have building at 10, and then a Hansel and Gretel architecture at 2. Hansel and Gretel, they went to that house covered in candy, so I can only imagine, what kind of fun that's going to be.
Okay.
And then we're going to have gaming on Thursday at 10, and then, I don't know how to say this word. So, library disco. Yes, this word that you can see on our library website.
Okay, what is this word? We need to talk to them.
But it's Dance It Out is what it says. So we will have maybe Disco Thick.
Or Thick.
Thick. We Miss Quabila and I aren't sure, but you should come to it and learn what it is.
It has disco in the name, so that means fun.
And it says come ready to dance at 2, so let's disco. And then on Friday, to round out the week, we're going to have a drive-in triple feature. No car, no problem. Build a sweet cardboard ride as you enjoy some transportation-themed movies.
Now, what age group is that for?
So these are our kids' events up to 12 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
But they're family, so if you have an older kiddo, you could bring them as well, But we never can say the titles of our movies in a public forum, like on the radio or in the newspaper.
Okay.
So if you're interested in learning what the titles of these movies are, we'll have posters up in the building. We'll also be able to tell you on the phone. So if you call and ask, we'll be able to tell you.
Okay.
But just with our licensing agreement, I can't tell you what they are.
I understand. Now, with all of that being said, once you go to the library, stop by the information desk and get your library card.
It takes not even 3 minutes usually to get your library card. If you've had a library card in the past, but you don't have it anymore, you don't know what happened to it, you can always stop by our circulation desk and say, hey, would you mind looking my name up and see if I have a library card here? If you do have an active library card in our system, you can get a replacement card for only $2.
Okay.
$2, opening up your world to reading and movies.
Alrighty. Look, the library has so many wonderful features. We haven't talked about Freegal in a while.
No.
That's the music download.
It's where you can access free music. So if you buy music, and I'm not hating on buying music, I do it too sometimes, but if you like to download songs off of the internet, do it with your library card. It's free and legal smushed together, so it's Freegal. So it's just a great way to... It's anyone who's a Sony artist, so it's a great way to have access to free music. And not only can you download songs and they're yours, like you get to keep them, but you can also stream music. So I plan on doing that at some of our upcoming events, so just watch for me in June. I got a new wireless speaker that I'm going to... And so you can build playlists in Freegal. Okay. And then you can stream that music. So we're going to work on that to have at events so someone can say, oh, what's that music you got playing? I mean, let me tell you about Freegal.
Okay.
So that's one of our free services that we offer. We also have, I know that you and I both are big fans of Libby.
Yes.
Libby is a free access. It's a free resource to access ebooks and audiobooks. In September of 2019, we joined the Arkansas Digital Library Consortium, where we went from our smaller collection that we had available and merged what we have in our collection with the collections of about 30 other libraries in Arkansas. And so we have access to about 50,000, I haven't gotten an updated number recently, but thousands and thousands of titles that we otherwise wouldn't have access to. And what a feature I've noticed with this is when you look at a book, you can look at, it'll have a list of other similar, either by the same author or the same genre, and it'll say, your library doesn't have this, would you like to recommend it?
Okay.
And I don't know who makes those decisions, but I'll a lot of times click recommend.
Yes.
I would like to read that book. But I love audiobooks, and so I use Libby all the time. I have the app on my phone. It's burgundy and turquoise.
Cute little girl face.
Yeah,
it's kind of like half
so
her
it
face.
looks kind of like that. You can see that my recent reads are Julie Andrews. I read her biography. It's called Home and Homework were her too. And then my book club is reading Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. We're reviewing it next Tuesday, and so that I've got it on hold. I'm gonna have to break down and read a physical book, which I don't usually do. I love physical books, but I live with a little bunny who likes to eat a book if I'm holding it. So I don't usually read physical books. I listen to them.
I keep saying once I'm finished school, I'm going to read for pleasure.
Yeah.
But I think audiobooks is going to be my first start out the gate.
They're fabulous. Not only do we have great access to audiobooks, ebooks, we also have magazines. It's something that was added in the last several months. I've got books on the brain. But we added magazines, and there are 325 magazines in this collection.
Wow.
And what's great about the magazines, whereas the books, we have like the number of titles we have, more than one person cannot check the books out at once. But the magazines can be checked out by multiple people at one time.
Okay, awesome. All right, so go to the library, books, magazines, movies, DVDs rather, free music downloads. Okay, if you're in the library, you get to use their free Wi-Fi.
You do. It's called Library.
All right. And then another thing we talk about the genealogy nights and different databases. You know, right now the census is about to get started. It is very important to get counted and give as much information as possible, even though... Okay, so when will the database open again? Like 70-something years?
So with the census, it's called a 72-year rule. So every 72 years, a new census is released. So the 1950 census is going to be released in 2022.
All right, so just think, you may not, unless God bless you with 70 plus more years.
You won't ever see that census.
But your future generations will be able to see this information. They'll be able to know where grandma and great grandmother lived, worked, whatever the case may be. So please get counted so that your information can be stored in the database.
Because it's the research that we're currently doing, and they do a lot better job now than they did back when they first started the census. I'm thrilled to have it, but some of the earliest census data that I found for my family, it didn't say Joe Jones lived, and his wife was this and this. Those are in later censuses. It would just say one male between this age and this age, one female between this age and this age, and you're like, I don't know these people's names.
Yeah.
But it's such a great opportunity to get counted. And look, I remember doing it before. I filled out a little card about 10 years ago and sent that in, but they also go door to door. And last I heard, they're still in need of people in this area to make some extra, if you're looking to make some extra money on the side and help make sure we get an accurate census count. I mean, we have information at the library.
I want to say it's up to $17 an hour.
Yeah, it's
up there.
It's good. It's really good. So we have information if you're interested. We have some information at the library. Just stop by our adult services desk and pick up some census information.
Alrighty, so there's so many ways to get involved, and there's so much information at the library itself. Again, you could use either the library's computers or use their Wi-Fi read there. You all have really done a lot of renovations.
We have.
So there's so many different little rooms and spaces for people just to hang out.
We have a lot of times, it's really nice to see in the afternoon. There's several kiddos that get tutoring.
Okay.
And they use the library. They'll come into our small study rooms on the front along Oak Avenue.
Okay.
And they'll use those study spaces they'll be sitting there with a kiddo and an adult going over homework.
Wow.
Maybe it's just a good place to come and bring your kiddo that is not home. Maybe, I know it's homework, but maybe that's their toys live there too, or their TV or their video games live there too, and so they get distracted easily. Bring them to the library and borrow one of our small study spaces and let them do their homework there.
Yes, right. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Even us adults, we need a change of scenery from work space, home space, car space, like a different space.
We do. And I also like to bring out, since you mentioned the databases, a lot of times, especially we're getting into that time of year when they've done a lot of instruction throughout the year, and now it's time for middle school, high school students to start writing those research papers.
Oh.
And so I remember those a lot of times happen in the spring. It's been a long time for me, but I remember doing some of those in the spring. You have to have citable sources when you're doing those. So not only do we have great access to, hey, we got some books, not only do we have that, but we also have some amazing databases. There's one is called Gales Discovering.
Okay.
And it's a great resource to look up journal articles.
Okay.
You can look up books. There are so many different magazine articles, journal articles, just available. You type in, so we've got an event coming up that the library goes to every year, and I always like to educate people while I'm there about whatever the topic is at hand. And so I've been using Gales Discovering. You type in the subject that you want to learn more about, and then it brings up all sorts of articles.
Okay.
That I've been reading to learn more about this subject that I'm researching.
Okay.
But the only thing I kept thinking about while I was doing that is, oh my gosh, this would be such a great opportunity for high school and college students to be able to do this. So all you have to do is go to our website, which is libraryinjonesboro.org. You click on the research tab and go down to databases.
Okay.
And from there, you can...
Online research. Okay.
Yeah, let me see. I'll go there as well. So our homepage, libraryinjonesboro.org. Like if you're on mobile, I just hit go to regular site so that it looks like I'm used to it looking like.
Oh, okay.
And then research databases. You can search by subject or title. I don't like to play favorites with my database friends, but there's one at the bottom called under T, if you look alphabetically, and it is the Testing and Education Reference Center.
Okay.
And it is an absolutely very wonderfully beneficial database, especially this time of year when people are looking into testing. Maybe you're about to graduate from college in the spring and you're looking for the nursing testing, and maybe you want to go to law school and you need to take the testing for that, the LSAT, or maybe the MCAT, or the
CRE. Is it something for education? Like a education certification, some kind of course for
There's
educators.
so many testing tests out there that we have to take as adults who want to further our careers. This database has practice tests for those exams. So, it's just like taking the practice ACT, which is also available through this resource. There are AP practice tests.
Wow.
I was never good at math, still not the best at math, but there are videos that you can watch through this database that shows you how to solve different types of problems.
All right, we're going to put a pause right there. We'll come back. We'll wrap up our discussion because we didn't get to the bookmobile just yet. So you tune in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with Miss Brandi Hodges, and we'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. You've created your household budget, also known as a spending plan, and you're sticking to it. Great. But what would you do if your income were suddenly reduced by 10%, 20%, 50%, or even 100%? Job loss, salary cuts, or disability can happen to any of us at any time. That's why now is a good time to build a hardship budget. Just take your current household budget and decide what expenses you'd cut and how extra income could be generated if your income was cut by 30%. Examples of adjustments you might make range from foregoing travel and dining out and becoming a committed coupon clipper to more drastic changes, such as trading in your car for an older, less expensive model, taking on a second job, or renting a room to a boarder. Other cuts may include that gym membership. The measures you might take may be distasteful or even painful, but planning your hardship budget in advance will be worth it. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
In 95, I helped tow your trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
KLEK is a nonprofit community radio station and has to rely on the support of listeners like you to continue to give a voice to the community. For the cost of a meal for two, just $20 a month would go a long way to ensure you will get the music and information you need. Please take a moment and fund your support to KLEK. Every donation will help us continue this radio station, giving local people a voice on the airwaves. Our goal is to get 100 new donors. Please consider donating. No donation is too small. Learn more at klekfm.org. This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community.
KLEK thanks Charles and Candace Mabry and the staff of Mabry Smokehouse for their support of KLEK and dedication to the Jonesboro community. Mabry's offers Texas-style barbecue, beef brisket, pulled pork, ribs, rib tips, chicken wings, smoked sausage, barbecue fries and nachos, sides, and desserts. Located 1504 Red Wolf Boulevard, Jonesboro. Open 11 to 8, Tuesday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday. More info, Mabry Smokehouse on Facebook. KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month. Shout out to Always and Forever Pet Grooming, offering baths, nails, and haircuts for dogs and cats. 2929 South Caraway Road, Jonesboro. 870-520-0925.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. A lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
That's just one adoption story that started at a shelter. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Dear John, uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. But when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
To get your high blood pressure to a healthy range, visit heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guest, Ms. Brandi Hodges from the Cricket County Jonesboro Public Library. All right, so we're going to continue on and wrap up our conversation. We didn't get into the bookmobile just yet. So
if you drive by the library,
okay,
you can't miss it. It's very large and blue.
Okay.
We have our bookmobile. It's something that's been more than a year of planning and getting it ready. So the way it's going to work is we plan on rolling it, literally, in the fall. But it came to us with shelves and things, and it's not something that we know how to operate. And so we are in the process of learning all the tricks and things that you have to do to operate the bookmobile. Because there's, it's got a side panel that flicks up, and there's a big TV in there.
Ooh.
It's got a awning that comes out. It has a like a electric wheelchair ramp that comes out. There's just lots of bells and whistles, if you will, that we're learning how to use. But in addition to that, it's a large and in charge vehicle. And so what our staff is going to do is practice driving it empty. And then over time, we'll slowly fill it with things, because it'll have its own collection. Just like our Jonesboro library. It has its own collection. If you check something out in Jonesboro, but then you're driving through Harrisburg and it's due and you drop it off at that library, it'll come back to Jonesboro because that's where its home is. Our bookmobile is the same. So this fall, when we start rolling, they're using this time between now and then to develop where the routes are going to go. Where are you going to see it? So that's something that they're working on. But when you check out a book from the bookmobile, and then you drop it off at the Jonesboro Library, it'll go back onto the bookmobile because that's its own collection. So we're going to fill it with everything, and then continually be driving it around to get used to the weight. Because it'll be different once we get all that stuff added on. So our bookmobile is coming soon. You'll see it rolling around. So you're going to go ahead and start seeing it. It's just not in active duty yet.
So we just to get people excited about what's to come.
And then we have our Brooklyn branch opening soon. You'll see some construction. I just want to throw this out there for folks who do come to the Jonesboro Library. You'll have noticed some construction going on. That is where the bookmobile is going to live. So we're just redoing that area of our parking lot. So to make a good space for the bookmobile to live at night.
Alrighty then. So many wonderful things happening at the library. Don't forget about all of the classes for the babies all the way up to adults. There's exercise classes, the Tai Chi, the Zumba, yoga. We have our Zumba class. We have our Mind and Body tonight. We also have some other fun events going on. Women in Jazz. Go to our website to learn more about that. We also are going to have a watercolor painting class. Those fill up fast. It's by registration only. So if you're interested in that, just go to libraryinjonesboro.org and check it out. All right, so thank you so much, Brandi, for joining us. And in our last 2 minutes, tell them again about the Arts and Crafts Fair.
The Arts and Crafts Fair is coming up on Saturday, April 25th. We do have a backup inclement weather date of May 2nd. It is later in the year than I think we've had it before, but so many events. April is one of the busiest months in our community, so many great events going on. I know the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure is that same day, so go to the race in the morning and then come by the library that afternoon. We're going to have a lot of fun going on. We have 60 booth spaces.
No, it's not until April.
Yep, April 25th. So we have so many booth spaces open. We are currently taking applicants. So if you or anyone you know does arts or crafts, our rules are you have, in order to be a vendor, you have to make everything you sell. So if you want to apply for our event, you have to make or alter everything you sell. So maybe you're a parent who has, or a person who has one of the Cricut or Silhouettes, and you press your own t-shirts, you design those types of things, that counts.
That counts.
So go to our website, libraryinjonesboro.org/arts application, and you can apply until the end of this month. We'll have the last Friday of the month, we'll pull the application.
So the event is not until April 25th.
April 25th.
I don't know why I thought March 25th. Like, my brain is,
It's been a long year.
It's like January was a whole year by itself.
But you have 4 months to get that application in. We'll close that application on the 27th of March, and then the event will be on the 25th. And barring bad weather, then we'll move it back a week.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brandi, for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and for watching. We hope you have a great and blessed day. Don't forget to go and vote. Can't tell you who to vote for. Just go out and vote for somebody, because the primaries determine who's going to be in the general election. Then we got to do this all over again.
Yep.
All right. I hope everyone has a great and blessed day. Stay tuned to KLEK for live coverage later this afternoon from the Craighead County Courthouse Annex.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants